Hey guys, it's Lisa and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to make some spring items to go in the store. And I'm going to start with this jar. And I've had several of these in my store over the years, and they started out selling really good. But now they just don't sell anymore. So I decided that I'm going to make this one into somewhat of an Easter cloche. So I thrifted these beautiful Easter eggs that have been painted, and I just love the look of them. So I'm going to make a little arrangement in this with some of these eggs. And then maybe staging it for spring like this will sell it. If not, then I'll figure out something to do with it later. So I guess this is the day for cloche decor, and I'm gonna, I had these two little items in the store, and again, they just haven't sold well. So I think the issue with the one, the little riser, is that it has a lot of blue in it, and it's just not a very popular color in my store. But also, this other one is just white with really no distress. So I feel like it needs some distress. So I'm just taking the color Caviar, and I'm going over both of these. And this one, I'm not worried about full coverage at all. I'm just brushing enough to get a good amount of dark, so that when I distress my main color, that they'll have enough of the dark, it'll have enough of the dark showing through. So I just give it one coat, and again, I don't worry with full coverage, and I don't worry with painting the inside at all. So I do that on both of these, except for the riser, I just go ahead and put a solid coat on it. And then once I get my dark coat on and that dries really well, then I took them outside and I sprayed them with a clear matte finish. That way it seals this paint in, and when I do my top coat, and I'm going to be doing these in the color Cotton, when I do that top coat, and I'll need to do 2 coats of that on both of these, I can distress down just by using a damp cloth, and then it will distress down to this dark color, and then I don't have to worry about the dark coming off if I've sealed it first. So again, I put that first coat on, and then once it dries well of this dark color, and again, this is Caviar, and it could be coffee bean. Coffee bean is just a really, really dark brown that's almost like a black. But you just need a dark color underneath. So, again, I put this on, let it dry well, and then I take it outside and spray it with a clear coat. And I could brush that clear coat on, but especially for this little cloche thing, it's just much easier if I spray it on. And then I do 2 coats of the color butter, or the color Cotton, and let that dry to the touch. And then I can take a damp cloth and distress down to the darker. And then I'm going to add a little arrangement inside of this. So now I have my white on both of these, and I've let them dry. Now I'm taking a damp cloth and just kind of rubbing over some of the areas and bringing some of that dark out. And then I'll finish these off with another clear coat. Now they're ready for some decor inside. I could just sell them like this, but I thought if I staged it with some spring decor, they would sell better. So I just took a little wood round that I had and made a little arrangement on top of it. And these are the little bunnies from the Dollar General. And I didn't get to film this, but I just glued these on top of that little wood round. And then glued some moss around them and added some little floral pieces as well. And then I can just put this in here, and then after, I'll sell this together with it, but after spring is over, they can always just take this little piece off and add whatever they want to in it. And this is just a little iron piece that I bought back in the winter, I think. And I'm just going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to paint it with, after I clean it up, then I'm going to paint this with a coat of the dark color. Let that dry, and then clear coat it. Let that dry, and then do 2 coats of the color cotton. And then I'll be able to wet distress down to the dark and then clear coat it. And then that's all that I did to this piece. And then obviously I staged it with some eggs and floral. And then this jar, I'm going to also stage it with some spring decor. So I'm cutting some floral foam for this one because I want to create some height inside with some floral. So I glue that floral foam to the bottom of this, and then I'll glue some of the, or I won't glue, I'll put some of the moss over the top of this, and then I can start to add an arrangement inside. And I'm also going to use some of these little Dollar Tree carrots inside it, but I always pull the top, the greenery part out of the top of these and replace them with some other greenery because that just gives them a much better look. And this is some greenery that I have that kind of makes me think of cabbage leaves, so I thought this would be good to add. And this is a little pillow that I made to go in the vignette. And all I did was take some fabric. This was actually given to me. And it has different squares on it that you can cut out. And it has these floral images on them, which I really, really like. And then I just cut some coordinating pieces of fabric just slightly larger, and then another one slightly larger than that, and then I just glued them all together and made a pillow with them. And even to make that pillow, I just used hot glue that was fabric glue, and just glued around the edges of each layer. And then I'm going to leave all these edges raw, so that I can just kind of pull at them and get them to fray and just make a little pillow. You don't even have to have fabric glue for this because this is something that's not going to be washed, most likely. It's just for decor. The rest of them, I'm going to make some more of these, and I'm going to use a sewing machine for them because that is best. But if you're like I was just very recently, I did not like to sew. Tammy, my sister, has conformed me, and I really like to sew now. And I've gotten to where I can use the machine a lot better. So I am going to be sewing these, but I just wanted you guys to see that you don't have to be able to sew to make these little items like this. Now, to sell, the ones that I'm going to sell, I will be sewing them together, but just to add a little bit of decor into your own house, then you can just glue them together. Now this is some book decor that I made, and I do not know what happened to the footage on that. So I'm going to attach another video in the description where I made one of these books, and I did this just the same way, except that I used a different rice paper on this. And I have this little peat pot, and I want to add this to it as well. And so I'm going to cut this in half and then glue it onto the book page, and then I'll add a little arrangement in it. But these books are super simple to make. It just takes a few steps, and actually several steps, but they're all very easy. And I just think that they make really cute decor. So these are some rice papers that I ordered from Decoupage Central, and I'll add that in the description. But I just think Spring Decor is really pretty with some little country churches in it. So I'm taking my distress ink here and just kind of going around this, and then I'll add an arrangement inside, and then I'll take some gold gilding wax and rub it over the edges of the paper with my finger, and then that will finish this off. Again, I'm very sorry that I lost that footage, but I will add the other video in the description. Here I'm just hot gluing this on. Now, I'm sorry I'm out of frame here. I'm just gluing some moss around the bottom just to kind of hide where I glued that on, and just kind of add some extra texture also. And here I decoupaged a floral napkin on the back of this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless you and your family.